Hi, this is April with Health for Life Cooking. Did you know that people who eat nuts and seeds on a regular basis have been shown to burn 11% more calories at rest than people who don't? That was just one study reported by Dr. Michael Greger on his website, nutritionfacts.org, but he states that 90% of the relevant studies on nut consumption show that when people add these foods to their diet, they don't gain weight. In fact, in some cases, people even lost weight. Despite these findings, it's a good idea to keep nut and seed consumption to a minimum, but do include them in your diet on a regular basis because they're rich in minerals and antioxidants and other cancer-fighting properties. My favorite nutrition expert, Joel Fuhrman, MD, he recommends that if you need to lose weight, don't have more than an ounce a day, which is about 1/4 of a cup. If you are at your ideal weight and you are active and healthy with no heart disease issues, you can have a little bit more. 2, possibly 4 ounces a day, depending on your activity level. Dr. Fuhrman also recommends that you don't snack on nuts, but eat them with a meal, because the fats in the nuts and seeds, combined with all those other superfoods you're eating, increases the absorption of some of the nutrients in those foods by up to 10 times. A fun and delicious way to do this is by blending nuts and seeds to make creamy soups and gravies. And one of my favorite recipes in my cookbook, Whole Food Goodness, is white bean potato soup. And that's the recipe that I'm going to show you how to make today. So let's get started. So I'm going to start my soup with 1 onion. And I'm going to chop my onion with my Vidalia Chop Wizard. This is one of my favorite kitchen gadgets. When you have a lot of vegetables to chop, and I hope you do have a lot of vegetables to chop every day, it makes it so easy and it cuts the time in half. And when you're chopping an onion, there are no more tears. Then I'm going to go ahead and add my onion to my soup pot. And I've got 2 cups of water in my pot, so I'll just add the onion to that. And then I'm going to add 2 carrots and 1 potato that have both been chopped with the chopper. And I love the uniformity that the chopper gives the vegetables in whatever dish you're making. And then I'm going to add something to this soup that is not in the recipe in my cookbook. Since the publication of Whole Food Goodness, I've discovered the value of mushrooms. Mushrooms have powerful anti-cancer properties. There was a study done in China on Chinese women, and those women who ate just 1 mushroom a day had a 64% less risk of breast cancer. And when those mushrooms were consumed in conjunction with green tea, that was bumped up to 89%. And Dr. Fuhrman suggests that green leafy vegetables will give that same increase or that same decrease in risk. So I'm just going to add those mushrooms. I add mushrooms to almost everything I make ever since I heard about that study. If I'm chopping an onion, I'm chopping some mushrooms. Alright, so I'm going to also add some broccoli to this so we can get our greens in with those mushrooms. And the broccoli was also chopped with my chopper, and it's very fine. I really like it that way. Alright, and then I'm going to add some garlic, and this is about 3 cloves of minced garlic. And then we're just going to put the lid on this and let this cook about medium-high. And then we're going to move over to our blender and make our cream sauce that's going to make this soup really, really delicious. So the base of my cream for my soup is going to be some white beans, and these can be navy beans or Great Northern beans, and these are cooked, just 1 cup. I'll put that in my blender. And then I'm going to add a ½ cup of sunflower seeds. Sunflower seeds are rich in vitamin E and lignans and thousands of micronutrients that are critical for our health. Sunflower seeds are a great choice in your diet. You can also use cashews, but seeds are higher in protein and they're higher in minerals and other micronutrients. So I prefer to use seeds when I can. So we'll just add those. And then I'm going to add just about 1 cup of water. Now, if you do not have a real strong blender, I recommend that you soak your seeds in that water for a few hours before you blend. That's going to make those seeds blend much easier and much creamier. So we'll go ahead and blend this up. All right, that's looking really good. I love how beans and seeds together make a great creamy sauce. Once our vegetables are tender, I'm going to go ahead and add this to our soup. So it looks like our vegetables are softening up nicely. I like to cook my vegetables for my soup in a small amount of water or broth. That way they cook a little bit quicker, and then I add all the other ingredients and I add more broth, more water to give it the consistency that I want. Just speeds up the cooking time a little bit. There's a little close-up for you of our vegetables. All that color is the antioxidants, and remember that antioxidants mean anti-aging. Now towards the end of the cooking is when I put in my herbs, whether they're fresh or dried. And if you have fresh parsley, use that, and you want about 1/4 cup. I didn't have any fresh parsley today, so I'm using dry, and it's a tablespoon. So I'm just going to add that in. Of course, fresh is always better. And then I'm going to add in my beans, my additional 2 cups of white beans. Again, these are, you can use navy or Great Northern beans. Okay, and then I'm going to add in my cream. Those beans and sunflower seeds all creamed up. You can see how creamy that is. That's just going to make this soup so delicious. And then I'm going to add some lemon juice, and this is just the juice of about 1/2 lemon. And you want to be careful with lemon juice. You don't want it too lemony. This is just going to kind of kick up the flavor a little bit. And then I'm going to add in my other seasoning, which is Mrs. Dash Lemon Herb. I really like this seasoning. It's a no salt seasoning. And then once we add that, we're going to let that cook just in about another 5 minutes. Now at this point, if you want to thin down your soup a little bit, you can add a little bit more water or a little bit more broth. And then right before we serve, we're going to add some salt. In fact, if you want to just leave the salt out and let people add what they want, that's even better. But I'm going to go ahead and add about 1 teaspoon of salt. So it looks like our soup is ready to serve. And it looks absolutely delicious. When you have a meal that contains all these superfoods like greens, onions, mushrooms, beans, and seeds, you're flooding the cells of your body with antioxidants and powerful phytochemicals that will heal your body and decrease your risk of disease. I hope that you find that eating healthy tastes great. You can find the updated version of this recipe for white bean potato soup at the end of this video. You can also find it on my website, and you can find the original recipe in my cookbook, Whole Food Goodness, which is also available on my website. So until next time, this is April with Health for Life Cooking, wishing you the very best of health for life.